Welcome, everybody. My name is Matt Molenar with MGM Design, and you are watching the latest edition of the MGM Design Digital Media Strategy Interview Series. We do these interviews with some of my top clients and newest websites that we roll out to share the current media strategies that are working with people that are being successful online. Today, I am super excited to welcome Mary McClendon with the Catholic Community Services. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I wanted to share just a quick story of kind of the background, not necessarily that led to this project. And there is a brand new website that we're excited to share with everybody. I've got a little ticker here across the bottom that people can check out, ccsuma60.com. But share a little story about how I kind of came onto the radar of Catholic Community Services. And I remember back several years now, there was a presentation by the Catholic Community Services at the Chamber of Commerce, like Good Morning Yuma breakfast, which had like 125 people there. And I was like, Catholic Community Services, I had never really heard of that before. Maybe heard the name, but didn't know what was going on. And as the presentation continued and the slide deck went through, we do this and we serve this many people and this, and we do this and we do this. My mind just kept going, oh my gosh, more and more and bigger and bigger. And I was astonished both at the scope of impact that you have on the community, but my lack of awareness that even any of this was going on. And so at that moment, I said to myself, if the Catholic Community Service ever need anything from me in a way that I could help, the answer would be yes. And fast forward several years, you approached me about this new campaign, and I'm so happy to say that my answer was yes. And then today we have our own ability to kind of share that same impact with a few viewers that may have been like me, unaware of the true impact that you guys have in the community. So with that, let me ask you the first question. Give us a little background about what is Catholic Community Services, what you guys do. And this is the key that you guys are going to learn about today that I can't wait to share, how long you've been doing it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that story, Matt, because you're not the only one. Historically, I think we've flown under the radar for a long time. In fact, we've flown under the radar for 60 years, to be exact, because January 3rd of this year was our 60th year anniversary.
60 years.
60 years.
60. That is, congratulations. That is incredible and phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you. So, I did a little bit of history thanks to the library check. And 60 years ago, we were the first and only provider of marriage and family counseling. So ironic that 60 years later, a lot of the services that we provide today are still the only provider of the services in those unique areas. So yeah, it is phenomenal. It's something to celebrate, something to recognize, and I really love the opportunity to be able to share that because it's deserved. I've only worked here for 6 years, and I feel it. I feel it as an employee, as a staff member, and I want the community to recognize and realize what we do.
Well, that's just incredible. And I think in addition to the digital strategy, knowing like people that are watching this are probably like thinking, how did they do 60 years? And gosh darn it, I would like to do, 60 years of success, whether it's in a nonprofit, some volunteer type of organization, or a business itself. It applies across the board. So give us just like a really brief overview of the services that you offer. I know there's like a huge list of all these things that you do, but there's really like 4 areas of focus in that is in my mind.
So first and foremost, we still provide counseling services, just as we did it at the beginning. So that covers group, individual, family, you name it, we provide it. After that, we have Daybreak. And Daybreak is our adult day healthcare program. It is the only licensed adult day healthcare program in Yuma. We're licensed by the state of Arizona to provide respite care. So if you ever go hang out there with us on a day, you'll hang out with the greatest people, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, onset of maybe early Alzheimer's or dementia, um, and or just at risk for being left home alone, need some socialization, whatever the case is, the caregiver needs a break. So we provide those services. We have our two senior nutrition programs. One is the Congregate Lunch Program, where we invite seniors to come and eat with us at the North End Community Center. During pre-pandemic, we served anywhere up to 1,500 meals per month on site. We're still doing a grab and go, so they're coming and getting their meals, saying hi to everybody, and then going home. And then our home delivered meals program. Our home delivered meals program is Yuma County's only live, because there is a mail delivery program, Meals on Wheels program. And so we serve close to 400 clients throughout Yuma County, homebound seniors that have difficulty accessing nutritional um, sustenance, as well as opportunities for socialization. Sometimes we're the only face that they're going to hear, the voice that they see. And I said that backwards, but so we deliver close to 7,000 meals. That includes Dateland, Tacna, Welton, Somerton, San Luis, and Yuma proper. So combined, we're looking at close to 10,000 meals per month that we're serving our senior population. And then, of course, we have Safe House, and Safe House is Yuma County's only domestic violence shelter, where we can actually provide safe shelter and supportive services for up to 120 days for a victim of domestic violence and their children and their pets if they have to bring them with them as well. So we have a lot of onlys, a lot of unique services. There are a lot of great partners and agencies that support, but they don't necessarily provide these unique services to the community. And I think that's what I love sharing the most about CCS Yuma, is that we don't do a whole lot of duplication, and it's important to know that.
Well, the one that I think really has impacted me, or left a major, it hasn't impacted me specifically, but left a major impression on me, is the Safe House. Where people hear a lot about the Amberley's Place and that kind of thing, and they may think that that is kind of providing that service, but they really don't. If there is I suppose a husband or a wife and the kids that let's say they're in an abusive household, this Safe House is the one place that they can go. And I didn't really even realize, obviously, like mom and the kids can go and have a safe place to stay, to transition to whatever that new environment is going to be. But the pets too, it just goes to show that the staggering numbers of the meals that you provide. I mean, 10,000 a month is phenomenal. And the scope of all the services that you provide are so incredible. But I think the one that touches me really is the Safe House, and it is literally the only shelter option for people in that horrible situation available in our community.
Absolutely. And, research shows that one of the number one reasons a victim will return to the home of their abuser is because they don't have another location to go to. And so a lot of times when people say, why did they go back? It's kind of like, well, where could they go? Or at least that's what they're thinking in thought process. And so when they are at the shelter, not only can they receive 120 days of safe, no-cost housing, 3 meals, 2 snacks, their children can continue to go to the same school that they are enrolled in. The bus will pick them up and take them to school just like they would any other day, and try to kind of maintain some level of normalcy in their, in their life. But then you have the supportive services that go along with that. We were fortunate enough to receive funding through the Community Development Block Grant to provide housing assistance. We know that affordable housing is difficult enough, but if you're trying to get affordable housing on the heels of being dislocated because of an abusive environment, being able to get some of that assistance, job assistance, whatever it is, if you need assistance with attending court, securing those safety plans, your court orders, all those kind of things. We've got advocates that can do it right there on site with you. The other thing is perhaps you don't need housing. Maybe you do have somewhere to go, but you need the support to be able to get you through this juncture in life. We also have mobile and community-based services where we can meet you where you're at. So it's really more than one program under Safe House umbrella. There's multiple ways to look with a victim and say, what are your options and how can we help you? Whether it's in your current home, in a new home, or in our home with you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Please let me transition us to some fun stuff and kind of what prompted this whole conversation to happen, which is the new website, ccsyuma60.com, dedicated to the celebration of 60 years. Tell us a little bit about the 60 for 60 campaign and then maybe how people that are watching this, if they're motivated to do so, how they can help.
Definitely. So the 60 for 60, thanks to COVID-19, that kind of derailed our plans for a celebration. But it doesn't mean that we couldn't celebrate just the same. So we kind of veered off our track and decided to do a 60 for 60 campaign. What can $60 provide in the services that we just described? Whether it's a month's worth of meals, a day of safe housing for a victim and their family, affordable counseling, a day of respite care, $60. And so the day that I walked into your office and said, what can we do? We don't have a lot of money. We don't have a big budget, but $60 for 60 years. So that's what this is. It's a giving campaign for those who have the ability, the desire. If they want to give 60, they can give 60. They can give less. They can give more. But what the website has done for us has created a very simple haven for people to go to with a simple URL, CCSUMA60. How much more easy does that get? Allows us to share some of the stories that our participants and clients and families are sharing with the community to say, this is what we received. This is what one day you could receive. And this is where your $60 would go to if you so choose to contribute. So it's a giving campaign. We only turned 60 once. It was a great opportunity to say, let's do this and move towards a culminating event of hopefully our annual dinner at a later date when people are feeling a little bit more safer. And I think we're getting there. So patience is a virtue. Your contribution has been generous and exciting because people are using it. It's made people can just go right to it, read the stories, click on the link, donate directly from there. They feel good about it. They get a receipt immediately. They get that thank you letter from us that's signed in ink, and it's been nice. It's new for us, to be honest with you. It's new for us on this end. So being able to do something that was easy but functional and contributory has been a huge, huge help. Hopefully that all made sense.
Absolutely. We had a comment come on Facebook from Danny Bryant, who says that Mary McClendon and Catholic Community Services are the real deal. They do great things for our Yuma. Mary, thank you for all that you do to our community. And then he followed up with a little bit of this. If you could get closer to your microphone, it's kind of going in and out for him a little bit there. But Danny is a friend of mine, and I'm so glad that he was able to watch today. And that testimonial, I think I will use to leverage and as kind of an excuse to encourage anybody that's watching this, go to that ccsyuma60.com, learn a little bit about Catholic Community Services, see what those $60 donations how that can impact someone's life. And then click that donate button. It's built right into the webpage. Give myself a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
You said the word easy many times, and that warms my heart.
On my end.
Yeah, well, that's my goal for every one of my clients is to make that final product, make it look, oh, that's easy. It's easy to use. It's easy to update. That's an easy website. And of course, behind easy is a ton of hard work and very complex to make it look easy. And so I love hearing that, but it truly is. So go find that donate button. And if it's $60, awesome. If it's $120 and you can double that impact, great. Whatever you're able to do. As Danny Bryant says, this organization is the real deal, and the impact that it's having in our community and with the people around us is probably unknown to so many people. But your contributions are so important now more than ever.
Yeah.
And this website is the vehicle for you to be able to make that impact and learn about other ways to volunteer and help out.
Absolutely. Two things real quick, Matt, if I may. You said, right now it's even more important. I'd really like to point out, especially for the staff that work here, with the exception of Daybreak, because we serve a vulnerable population, a highly vulnerable population in that setting, we never stopped serving. We still went to the homes and delivered the meals. We still provided housing in Safe House. We still provided counseling through other venues. And if they still had to come here to receive it, they still came here to receive it. So we have not providing the level of direct care that we were providing before COVID took a toll on our community. And I think that's to be commended. We've got a lot of great people. The other thing, if I may do a shameless plug, I have a challenge. I'm getting ready to post on our Facebook. Yuma Investment Group has put $1,000 on the table, and all they're asking for is a match. And they said if we can find that match for $1,000, they're ready to hit that send button and contribute at that level. So if there's anybody out there listening, it could be a group, organization, an individual. We'd love to have you on board, and you can hit that ccsyuma60.com website and take care of that, or give us a call here, and I can help you directly.
Much improved on the microphone. And so just to clarify, if they use the donate button on ccsyuma60.com, that will be tracked, even if it's just $60 or whatever. And as soon as that adds up to 1,000, Yuma Investment Group will match that 1,000.
No, so it'll need to be a single donation of $1,000. So if you want to do pull a group together and make that single donation, then it would be a single donation of $1,000. Now, if somebody wants to bring in multiple checks to me or whatever to make it easy, that's fine.
Okay.
But we do have the match.
So you are looking for $1,000 donation, whether it's a group of people, organization, whatever. So the challenge to you, viewer, that's watching and hearing this, is get your group together, or if you're feeling like you can do it yourself, go for it. Bring $1,000 to Catholic Community Services, and Yuma Investment Group will double that to $2,000. And that would make me so happy to hear that happened. And if you're needing that last guy to get that last bit of the group in, you come talk to me and I will be in on that as well. So that is fantastic. Well, I've always closed with a couple of the same kind of questions that I like to ask everybody. But before I get to those, like a book you read and a favorite quote you might want to share, if you're so inclined, are there any final thoughts, golden nuggets, words of advice, anything in the digital realm, or just the whole world in general that you would like to share before we wrap things up?
I really turned into a keep it simple kind of person. I think during this time, we all like to say we realize and recognize what's important, but it's really easy to get back into the buzz that we were in, pre-pandemic. So my words of wisdom, my goals for myself, my family, my friends, is that we stay motivated, but we stay connected. And whether that's through digital media, which has been, I think, a safe haven for a lot of people during this time, or, reconnecting personally, to not give up on each other and remember what's important today and who was important before.
That's a beautiful thought, and it immediately makes me think of something that my time with the Arizona Community Foundation of Yuma has taught me, which is the idea of the gift of giving. Mm-hmm. And how important it is to, in times where everybody's having a tough time right now, to be aware of other people's needs and other people's hard time and not just your own, and how making a difference in someone else's life can elevate your own life. That's the gift of giving. And I think this is a great opportunity for that. And I know that the people that your organization is helping truly need our help, and can recognize our own blessings, that really it's not as bad as we may think it is compared to some others. So with that summary, go to ccsyuma60.com and do that donation, and that would be fantastic. And also check out a beautiful website built by MGM Design. I would be remiss if I didn't say, if you need help with your digital media strategy or a new website for your business or organization, MGM is obviously here to help. In the Facebook link comments, there's a link that you can even book an appointment with me. So we'll finish with my favorite last two questions. One is, do you have a quote that you have heard recently, or maybe you live by, or that you really enjoy? And that you might want to share with everyone that's listening.
So I'm a quote person, and my daughter will always say, "You're not going to post a quote, are you?" And I'm like, "Well, who would it be if I didn't?" But I'm going to go back to something I said, and my staff will tell you, it's all good. My quote to live by is, "It's all good." I don't care what's coming at me, what's happening here. It's all good. We'll make it work. And so, "It's all good" is I think the words that I live by. It's all good.
And so, before I ask the last question, which I always finish it with, which is if there's a book that you've read, because I'm kind of I'm not the best reader in the world, but I really like self-improvement, leadership books, things like that. And so I always ask that. But before I let you answer, I just want to share some phenomenal news. Danny Bryant once again has commented here, and he said, Pacesetter Homes and First Bank Yuma will contribute the $1,000 to get the Yuma Investment Group match. Yes, Danny. Yes. Oh, thank you, sir. That is fantastic. That is why we are here. And again, anybody that's listening or watching, that doesn't mean the job is done. You can still go and contribute. You can set up your own match challenge. But I've got chills right now. We have made a difference.
Absolutely.
We have made a difference today. And that's why we're here. Thank you, Danny. That is phenomenal. Appreciate that so much. Okay, so on to the last question. As always, we've gone already 7 minutes over our 15-minute goal, but we have done some good stuff. Book. Have you read a book recently that you might say this one is worth checking out on your own?
Under normal circumstances, I would answer that, but I'm going to use this time to say that MGM is what's worth people checking out on their own. If they go to our website, CCSYuma60, I really want to point out it's a very simple introduction to our 60 for 60 campaign. And why I think that's important, Matt, is I think there are people out there that think websites and links and all that stuff have to be grandiose and bells and whistles and all these colors. And it's too much and can be scary. And if you're a small business or you're somebody who's just starting out, it doesn't have to be. And I'm proof in the pudding, because I think when I sat at your desk, the first thing I said is, I don't know anything. This is not my area of expertise. All I know is what I want to see happen. And I'm looking for somebody to guide me and make that happen. And so I think what people need to check out is MGM Design. So that's my book.
Thank you so much. Well, I think we'll leave it at that and do one big virtual.
I'm crying.
I know, it's like I'm emotional as well, and there you have it. So well done. Thank you for all that you do in the community. Thank you for taking your time, your most valuable resource, your time, and sharing it with us. And thank you, Danny Bryant, First Bank Yuma Pacesetter Homes. And Yuma Investment Group, of course. Yeah, so I'll say thanks again, and I hope everyone has just a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Matt.